What is going on, everybody? I am back with another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This time it is a UU battle that I had against Mizticall. Now, as far as teams go, biggest threats on his team are going to be his Nidoking and his Meloetta. Meloetta purely because I happen to know that it is a Pirouette form, or a Pirouette Meloetta. So if that thing happens to go Pirouette form, then the only thing on my team that I have to deal with it is going to be my Mienshao, because that is the only thing on my team that I have to outspeed a Meloetta. Or Pirouette form Meloetta anyways. But as long as I can keep my Gourgeist around and keep that thing from going Pirouette, then I should be a-okay and good to go. So, and then his Nidoking is also a threat just because it can hit super hard. And the only things on my team that I have to deal with his Nidoking are going to be my Reuniclus and my Noivern. But the problems with those two is the fact that I kind of don't have Recover on my Reuniclus, because when I was training it, I didn't have Psyshock. The Psyshock TM at the time, so I had both Psychic and Psyshock on it, which means that I was keeping both of them because I was unsure which one I wanted, and I just threw it on my team because I forgot that, or I thought I had Recover, but didn't put Recover on it. Anyways, rambling aside, then my problem with Noivern is that he still has, that if he keeps his Empoleon around, then Empoleon just walls the ever-living tits out of Noivern. So, yeah. Anywho, Nidoking's me a problem. I don't have to play around that the most. So, yeah. Anywho, let's just move right on with the game. So, right off the bat, we both decided to lead off with our respective Volt Switchers, U-Turners, Scarfers. We both decided to lead off with our Choice Scarfers. And right off the bat, I make a bad play because I go for a knockoff, figuring that he was just going to go for a Volt Switch, and I was going to be like, hey, I can knock you off, and you could go into something else, I can knock that off. Everybody having a good time. But I completely forgot that my Manectric hasn't gone Mega yet, which means it still has Lightning Rod, and why would he go for a Volt Switch risking to give me the +1 special attack? So, going to Noivern right now, and I'm just going to drop a Draco Meteor on something. I know that the Empoleon switching was stupidly obvious, but if he did happen to go into that, I could just safely switch into my Gourgeist or my own Empoleon and get my rocks up, so that's fine. But he ends up just going into his Nidoking, predicting me to want to go for a U-turn, and yeah. So, he ends up losing his Nidoking really early on, so that kind of put him on super edge in this game because his Nidoking was pretty much the best way to deal with most of my team. So, I end up just switching out into my Manectric as he now goes to his Empoleon, and I'm just gonna go for a Volt Switch. I went straight into my Manectric because I figured he was just gonna set up his Stealth Rocks because he didn't want my Noivern getting free switches and shindig stuff, but he just goes for Scald, which, anyways, go for a Volt Switch and do like a good 50% to this thing, which is really nice. As I just Volt Switch into my Gourgeist on another Scald, and right here I'm gonna double back into my Noivern, predict him to want to go into his Tangrowth to take a Leech Seed from me, or yeah, that's what I was expecting. But he ends up just going into his Rotom to do that. I guess maybe he was expecting a Will-O-Wisp. Either way, his Rotom on his team right now is his best way of dealing with my Gourgeist, so yeah. Anywho, going to my Noivern, I just U-turn, and since he is no longer Choice Scarf, since I knocked it off on the first turn of the game, he will be able to get the switch initiative on this whole U-turn Volt Switch exchange. So I'm going to go into my Empoleon as he goes for a Volt Switch, and it manages to pull a crit, which I'm not going to complain about this one, just because of the way hacks goes in this game. You'll see. But yeah, so anywho, he just Volt Switches into his Tangrowth. Now right here, I'm going to predict him to want to switch out, switch into his Rotom, predicting me to go into my Gourgeist to take a Leech Seed or Sleep Powder. And he does do that, so I will be able to safely get my rocks up. I don't care if he still has Defog with his Empoleon, because I still have my Empoleon, I can do those things. But anyways, he goes for a Volt Switch right here, and I figured I could live one just because the Volt Switch before was a crit, and without the crit that would have done about 25% it looked like, and I do manage to live this Volt Switch with like 4 HP. I'm just gonna go for a Scald as he goes into his Empoleon, and my first Scald I get the burn, where earlier in the game he went for 2 Scalds, got no burn, so that's gonna stack onto the fact that I crit. I don't know. Anyways, managed to get the burn. Now right here, I'm just gonna set up my Stealth Rocks because I'm just gonna go for Stealth Rocks because if he manages to win a potential speed tie, I'm not too sure what the investment is on this Empoleon because this was a clone Empoleon, so I don't know what investment it is. I kind of want to say it has speed investment for some reason. Mainly just because I win both of these speed ties right here. But anyways, I went for the Stealth Rock because if he won the speed tie, I figured he was just going to go for a defog because he didn't want his Rotom taking damage, since that's his best Pokemon to deal with my Gourgeist. And if I won the speed tie, then you know, whatever, I'll just have to hope that I win a second speed tie. And I do, so that means my rocks are going to stay up on the field, because I'm just going to go into my Manectric and just kill off his Empoleon right here. So, Volt Switch, kill off his Empoleon, which is exactly what I do. I believe I just go into my Noivern, because now that his Empoleon's dead, he has nothing that's going to like taking a Draco Meteor from my Noivern. So, yeah, go to Noivern, as I believe he's just going to go into his Rotom now, because at this point his Rotom's kind of dead weight. I go for an Air Slash right here, and I miss an Air Slash. I have Air Slash because I'm stupid, and I don't have Hurricane, but even if I did go for Hurricane, I probably would have missed that too, because 5% chance to miss a Air Slash, and I missed it anyways. So, doesn't matter, he's just going to go for an Overheat. I land the second Air Slash, so that means Rotom's dead. So, now he's going to go into his Meloetta. At this point, I have a pretty good advantage because now that he has no huge way of dealing with my Gourgeist, I pretty much have this game on lockdown, more or less, because like I said before, my Gourgeist pretty much just walls the crap out of Meloetta while it is still Aria form, because that knockoff hardly even did 20, like that knockoff did nothing to my Gourgeist. And I believe like if it was pure wet form, a knockoff would almost one-shot me from full HP. I think it does like 88 to 90% or something like that. Something super crazy. But I went for the Willis, missed it on the Meloetta, or missed the first one on the Meloetta, which sucks. So he ends up going to his Weezing, because at this point his plan, I guess, is just to wear my my Gourgeist down as much as he can so that I can just die. And I don't know, but pretty much that was his plan, just try to get a status on my Gourgeist, I guess, and just wear it down. But going to my Manectric right now, I'm just gonna go for Thunderbolts to kill this thing. I don't know, try to kill this thing, but I think he just dies from the burn at the end of the turn. And then that was another piece of hacks that he didn't get. He missed out on the poison with the Sludge Bomb, which really sucks. But in comes Meloetta. I know for a fact that a Thunderbolt will not take this thing out, so I'm just going to go for a full switch, since I know I'll outspeed this thing, because Aria Meloetta has like 80 speed or something like that. I don't know what the base stats for Aria Meloetta are. I know what they are for Pirouette, but not so much Meloetta. I just know it's really especially defensive. But like I said before, my Gourgeist is my safest switch. Right here, I really think he should have just gone for like an Ice Punch or something just to get damage off of me. That way he could just wear me out. Because if you see right here, this Ice Punch, it does, like, if he would have gone for the Ice Punch on the switch and then gone for another Ice Punch, he could have just taken me out right there. But I don't know. But even then, I still had my Manectric. But yeah, anyways, at this point, it's pretty much game, because my Manectric will be able to take this thing out with a Thunderbolt. And I think I just went for, yeah, I did go for a Thunderbolt, because I was, like, unsure if a Flamethrower would kill. I'm pretty sure it would have, just because I don't think he's invested in special defense at all, since he's a pure wet Meloetta. But anyways, his last Pokemon is his Noivern, and I still have this thing and my Reuniclus, as a matter of fact. So if you put this thing to sleep and I miss an Air Slash for whatever reason, then I still had my Reuniclus, which could just Calm Mind in his face and do things from there. But anyways, that was a good game, Mike. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this game. If you did, feel free to leave a comment down below. Definitely do not forget to show that like button some love. And if you enjoyed my content and wish to see more content from me in the near future, then feel free to click that subscribe button down below. So with all that stuff being said, thanks for watching and peace.